It's the state's understanding that all of our issues for support were covered in the prior orders. It was just a temporary order, a further temporary and additional resets with visitation. And so the state will defer to the Litem as to how we proceed.
All right, and my recollection is Miss Garcia, this is one of the cases where the non-custodial has been using a service for the visitation package. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I got a couple of those cases right now. I wasn't sure if this was one of them. All right, you may proceed with your opening and to tell the court what you're requesting we do here today, and whether or not this can lead to a final hearing or a final order, or do we need to have an additional hearings? Thank you.
I'd like to, if the court is able to today, I think we'd be able to finalize today if possible. Dad has completed his supervised visit. At the last hearing, Mom indicated she had moved out of that county she was in, out of Williamson County. That visit occurred at the Unity Visitation Center in Killeen. Dad completed that visit. Everything went well. I have emailed visitation notes from the center to the court yesterday and to the parties. At the appropriate time, I'd offer those into evidence once we're at that point. Dad did miss his unsupervised visit. That was in the order. I spoke to him about it. He indicated he wasn't aware, he didn't realize that that was in the order. He thought that he had to come back to court for that visit. So there was some confusion there. And I know that Dad has had a few issues trying to get connected on app close. He was missing some of the contact information for Mom. I don't know if he's fixed that as we sit here today. But as far as my recommendation for today, I think he's done well. I think his daughter and him are starting to build that bond. I would recommend that he would start unsupervised visits and a step up to standard possession order. I think he's ready for that. And that's all I have, Judge.
All right, folks, let's get some testimony. Let's hear what the parties want to try to do, and give me an update on where, because again, I do so many of these a week that I need an update on where Mom is at this time, or where she's living, and also remind me whether or not we got any type of geo restrictions on this case. But I'll go ahead and let the lawyers get that information to me through the testimony or through closing statements. But at this time, I'll ask both Ms. Jones and Mr. Taylor to raise your right hands, please. Do you both solemnly swear or affirm your testimony you're going to give this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're both officially under oath. You may proceed. Thank you. I'll let the state call your first witness, please, or you defer to the ad litem at this point.
I'll go ahead, Your Honor, since we're trying to finalize.
Right, thank you.
The state calls Ms. Washington. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Chanel Bree Jones Washington.
And ma'am, you're familiar with all of the orders in this case since April of 2024?
Correct.
And since then, ma'am, we've managed to address all issues except for Mr. Taylor's rights and duties as a possessory conservator. Would that be your understanding?
All right.
Okay, so as far as you and he having specific rights and duties to your daughter, and him paying you support as previously ordered, you're not asking for changes to any of that, are you?
No, I never even asked for that.
Yes, ma'am.
I know it's the lawyers that ruin everything, ma'am. Always.
And ma'am, at this time, what county do you live in?
I am back in Bell County.
And the last orders we had said you have no restriction if you need to move. Are you wanting the court to continue that?
Yes.
And then, ma'am, as far as your child's health coverage, has it changed since any of the orders we've done?
She is no longer on Medicaid because I make too much.
Okay.
So, she'll be moving over to my job's healthcare.
And when will that occur?
It should start like within the next month or two. After paperwork is done, like I don't do the paperwork like they do that at work, so.
And any idea what the cost to you to add her is?
I didn't really pay that much attention. I just know they're gonna take it out my check.
And at this time, ma'am, I believe you said you weren't wanting any child support before a judge ordered it, but you're not asking Mr. Taylor to reimburse you for whatever those premiums are you?
No.
And previously, ma'am, we had that your contact information, such as physical address, etc., should not be disclosed. Are you asking that that order continue where it can stay confidential?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. I pass this witness.
All right, thank you very much. I'll go ahead and pass the witness to the Litem. Thank you.
All right, ma'am. This last visit that happened at the Visitation Center, did you receive the email copies of the visitation records that I sent yesterday?
Yes. I got
And
them no, they were sent this morning. I received them and read them though.
okay, but as far as you're aware, those visits have been going well, correct?
All the supervised visits have went well.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Taylor missed that one unsupervised visit that was supposed to take place, correct?
Right.
Okay. Have you and him been able to communicate at all with regard to visits or the child or anything like that?
We spoke, I reached out to him through his Facebook page because that app close app, you have to get the other parents like phone number to send them a thing to add them. So I sent him a text message on Facebook. I just said like, I don't want it to be anything like, I didn't want to just show up at the house and then it be something that it wouldn't, and then they make it out to be something that it's not, because I'm just trying to be able to communicate, because we're supposed to communicate through that app and we still haven't got it up yet. So he sent me his phone number. First I sent him my work phone number, my work cell phone number. He sent me his phone number back. He said like it's no bad blood, like we're good. And I had said I need that information because we got the visit this weekend. He called me on Wednesday. We had like a quick conversation, 2-3 minute conversation.
Okay.
Did y'all get the app close thing working finally, ma'am?
No.
Okay,
It's still not working, but we briefly talked
before we get out of here.
On Wednesday, and I asked him if he would be bringing his son that weekend to have the visit with Janae, and he said no because his son was out of town in Louisiana. Okay. And that was it.
All right. Okay. Next question, Ms. Garcia.
Yes. And you heard my recommendation today. Do you have any objections or problems with the recommendation for the father's visits going forward?
I feel like he should have showed up. Like, I feel like for me, like when he didn't show up for that visit to take her by himself unsupervised, like I just feel like, where are you? Like, why you didn't show up? Like, we just had talked about it a few days before. Like, I don't know, I just kind of.
Did you reach out to him when he didn't show up and say, hey, you're late, are you coming, what's going on, or anything like that?
Because at that point I just was like, dang, like this is important. Like I shouldn't have to remind you about something that's important as your child.
Okay. So are you, just so I'm clear, so do you have an objection to the recommendation I'm making?
I think he should still just continue doing supervised because that's what he's showing up for.
I'm not. The only way I can keep doing supervised is to keep coming back to court, ma'am, and the court's
I don't want to keep coming back to court. So
okay, yeah, that's ma'am. So that's that. So I'm sorry.
I'm not. I don't want to keep coming back to court either.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may proceed, Ms. Garcia. Thank you.
Yes, Judge. That's all I had. Pass the witness if Ms. Bongat.
Anything on redirect, Ms. Bongat?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly. Okay. Ma'am, aside from Mr. Taylor not communicating or remembering this last visit, were there any other concerns since the last time we were in court?
No, she's from what all the monitors say when she goes to visit, she says they all said the visits are good. Like she gets along with her brother, like hasn't been any issues. So I can't say anything wrong.
And as far as her behavior that you've observed before the visits, after the visits, would you say she's looking forward to it, or she's still her usual self? No bad changes?
No bad changes. She's cheerful all the time. Like she's just a very cheerful child. So she's always happy. But like sometimes like she'll ask about her brother. She'll say, I want to see my brother. And it's like at random times, it's like I can't like just make that happen either. So that's kind of unfortunate.
And then, ma'am, since app close hasn't been working, has there been any type of electronic communication so she can at least say hi to him or her brother?
Mm-mm. No,
Thank-
I just reached out just that one time through to the dad, but like I'm not like sure like where I can go and where I can't go with it. So I just don't.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jones, Washington. Your Honor, I pass the witness.
All right, Garcia, any other questions?
Yes, ma'am, you indicated you haven't given him your cell phone number. You said you gave him a work number?
Yes, my work
Okay.
cell phone.
It's a cell phone, so you have that with you on 24/7 when you're home too?
Mhm.
Okay. And let's see, you indicated that you told me earlier when I asked you said you read through all the visitation notes that I had forwarded to the parties?
Yes, I scanned through it.
Okay. Judge, at this time, I'd like to offer those notes to the court, as I guess would be Exhibit
A.
A.
Yeah.
And
All right, Mr. Taylor, have you had the opportunity to review the report that was sent into the court by the ad litem?
To be honest, I read through a little bit, whatever I got in my email, but I'm being honest with you, I hadn't. That's why I kind of missed the visit. I was under the intention that we had to go to court first.
Stop. I'm right now with the ad litem is asking to place this in the evidence. I just want to make sure you had the opportunity to look at this exhibit, which is the report from the facility where you were doing your visits.
Oh, yes.
All right. Yeah. At this point, I'll ask: is there any objection from the state or either party to this coming evidence at this time?
Your Honor, I don't believe I've gotten it yet, but state has no objection since it isn't our issue.
All right then. All right, Ms. Jones, any objection?
No.
All right. Ad litem A is admitted. You may proceed.
ma'am, and in those notes, it does indicate, it gives some examples of interactions between Mr. Taylor and the child, correct?
Correct.
And it's in the notes indicate that the supervisor of the visits felt that Mr. Taylor was meeting her needs as far as taking care of her during the visit or things of that nature, correct?
Correct.
It also indicates that at the end of the visit, there was I don't remember if it was a hug and a kiss, but at least a hug and saying that he would see her soon. Isn't that correct?
Right.
Okay. And from the notes, it kind of implies that the little girl enjoyed herself during the visit. Would you say that that's safe to say?
Correct. I've always said that.
Good. All right, I pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Bungat.
No other questions for Ms. Jones, Washington, Your Honor.
All right, call your next witness, please.
The state calls Mr. Taylor. Sir, what is your full name?
Brandon Christopher Taylor.
And sir, are you also familiar with all of the orders that have been in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, sir, as far as the state's position, would you agree that the one thing we need to look at is what rights you, as a possessory conservator, should have to your daughter?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
And sir, as far as the financial portions of the prior orders, are you asking for any changes at this time?
No, ma'am.
And sir, I guess based on the mother's testimony about your daughter soon to be on private insurance, the state's one request for the court will be that the cash medical amount of $54 be removed, since we will no longer be the recipient or entitled party. Any problem with us doing that?
No, ma'am.
And then as far as the app close, sir, were you able to utilize the work cell phone number that was provided?
Well, I just did it, and I got in the app, so
They have it, and I sent a request to the I reckon the work number.
Okay. And apologies for jumping around, sir. But based on the $54 in medical support going away, that would actually change your child support to $371 if the court wanted such a modification. Would you be okay with that number starting in either April or May as ordered by the court?
That's a lesson in it.
So
Look, I'm probably gonna keep that 54 in there no matter what, whether it's to the state or to the mom once she's no longer on health insurance, and that way she'll have some break before she has to try to come back in and get it situated on what she's actually getting going forward. Okay. So
Yes,
at
Your
this
Honor.
time, sir, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the 54 in there. Right now, it's going to the state of Texas, ma'am. But as soon as the child comes off the Medicaid, then that would come to you. And of course, you would have the right to come back in once you figure out what the final cost is going to be. All right. Thank you.
In that case, Your Honor, I pass this witness.
All right, Ms. Garcia, your witness.
Yes, Mr. Taylor. You heard the mother's testimony earlier when I was questioning her that you missed that unsupervised visit and that she had spoken to you about it a few days prior. Is that accurate? Did you guys have a conversation or a message or a conversation about that?
Yeah, we had a conversation, but I went under the impression that it was a conversation about having a meeting with my daughter, because I would have been there. I've been to everything that I'm supposed to be, that I'm supposed to go to. I definitely didn't know that I was supposed to, do that on that particular day. I would have been there. I didn't know.
Okay, so you weren't unaware that that had been ordered at the last hearing?
No, ma'am. I was thinking that I had to go through court, and then he would pass the judgment as far as, to go farther with that. That's what I was under impression. So I was thinking when I get to court, and then I would be able to do that. I didn't know that it was like, after I do that visit, then do like that.
Okay. All right. And earlier you were saying that you finally have App Close up and going. You're connected with mom on there?
Yes, ma'am. I send a request to the number to the work number. I'm not sure if she got it, but I send it.
Okay. All right. And you heard the recommendation that I'm making to the court with regard to your visits. Are you okay with that recommendation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the visits have been going very well. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you feel that you're starting to build that bond with your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when did you guys exchange contact information? Was that recently, the phone number, the work phone number and all that?
Yeah, I think it was a couple of days ago. I'm not really sure. I'm not really good at date time.
Okay, and you don't have any issues communicating with mom or coordinating with mom, either
No.
through text or App Close?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I pass the witness.
All right, Ms. Garcia, the unsupervised visit, how long was that for? Was it the 4-hour kind, or was it something different?
I have to look back at the order here. I don't recall, Judge. I think it was a few hours. It would have been his first unsupervised, so I believe it was just a few hours.
Okay, that's normally 4. I was just trying to make sure that And
Probably.
going forward, are you requesting the break-in visits, the 4 hour, then the 8 hour, then finally the overnight, and then standard at that point?
Yes, Judge, what the court usually does for break-in, yes, and it is 1 PM to 5, so it was the 4 hour
Okay,
visit that you had. Yes, Judge, that's what I'm requesting so that he can ease into that with the child.
all right. And Mr. Taylor, what city you live in now, sir?
Killeen, Texas.
All right. And Ms. Jones, what city do you live in, ma'am?
Temple.
Okay. All right, folks. What I normally do as far as exchanges when I'm dealing with certain circumstances, since we're not going to do it at the individual homes, I usually make exchanges at the local PD as far as those exchanges concerned. And ma'am, since you live in Temple, it's at the Temple. I would make the exchanges on all visitation until further order of the court to be the Temple Police Department, downtown Temple. And that means if you decide to move or go somewhere else, you're going to have to come back to court to change that around. But the order has to be exact on where the exchanges need to take place. Otherwise, it's not enforceable. Do you have a problem, ma'am, making the exchanges at TPD?
No.
All right, Mr. Taylor, do you have a problem with, obviously, the law is you're supposed to pick up and drop off at mom's, but we're not going to do that in your circumstance. We're going to go ahead and make it an exchange. And believe me, I do this in about 25% of my cases. And like I say, I always make it at the police department because people have a tendency not to go act crazy at a police department. And they have the best high definition cameras in town. So I could always get a copy of the video in case something goes wrong. So do you have a problem, sir, with pick up and drop off at the Temple Police Department downtown?
No, sir.
All right, then. All right, folks. I want y'all to confirm that y'all can get that app close working. Like I said, sir, we're going to do the break-in, or I'm looking at doing the break-in visits, and my break-in visits are usually, I'm sorry, how old is this little girl again, please?
3.
She's 3, okay. So my break-in visits are usually somewhere between 4 and 6 at each level. When y'all live this close, y'all don't live in the same town, but y'all live close enough so it's not too much of an inconvenience. So I'm probably looking at doing the first 6 visits, sir. I'm going to do the norm. I want it to be the first, third, and fifth Saturdays of the month from 1 to 5 with pickup and drop off at Temple PD. After you do that first visit at 6 visits, the next level up after that is all day Saturday, 9 to 5, and I'm going to make that level a 4 level, which means you got to do that 4 times and get her all day. Next level up after that, sir, is that you get to pick her up and I'm going to change y'all's around a little bit because y'all close enough to be. I'm going to go ahead and make the pickup at 1 p.m. on Saturday. You get to pick her up at 1 p.m. and you return her to that same place at 6 p.m. the following Sunday. Get overnights going. So you're going from 1 p.m. on Saturday to 6 p.m. on Sunday, and you're going to do that 4 times. And then after you complete all those visits, which is a total of 14 visits, sir, you will then move to the standard possession order, which means by the time you get through with that, she will be through this current summer. But if you do your visitation pretty much regularly, by this coming fall, you will be on the standard schedule for weekends and Christmas and Thanksgivings and all those items, spring break next year. And then next summer, you will be entitled to if you do it like you're supposed to, sir, you'll be entitled to your 30-day visit with your child. And if you wanted to pick your 30 days, you can pick those 30 days, let mom know only before April 1st what days you want. If you don't let her know before each April 1st, then you automatically get July 1 to July 30th. But again, you've got to complete those 14 visits before you move to the standard possession order. And I'm going to make the visitation exchange at Temple PD until further order of the court. Well, like I say, it can be tweaked later on, but for right now, that's what I'm looking at. So, and everything else as per the temporary order as far as child support. I'm gonna set that up. As far as your rights as a possessory conservator, sir, I'm going to listen to some closing statements. But right now, I'm looking at having Miss Garcia go over the rights of possessory conservator that are under the Texas Family Code. See which ones are appropriate for Mr. Taylor to have. And then upon your recommendation, send those, if he's entitled to all the rights of a possessory conservator that's under the family code, let this send that information over to Ms. Bongat and let her include that in his rights as a possessory a conservator in this case. Or but I'll let that Litem double check those to make sure there's nothing that's in conflict with anything Mr. Taylor's got going on at this point. So, folks, that's what I'm looking at doing. But I do want to get some closing statements from everybody to make sure I'm not missing anything. But that's what the court's looking at doing. So I'm going to start with you, Ms. Garcia, and tell the court, is there anything else you're requesting based on that we do as far as this order is concerned?
Nothing additional, Your Honor. I think the temp order, I believe the temp order made them joint managing, but I don't recall. But no, Your Honor, there's nothing additional that I'm requesting. And I think Mom had brought up the non-disclosure, but I leave that to the discretion of the court.
Well, I don't believe that. I was going to leave the non-disclosure in there. Mom's got to keep that informed of a phone number, which everybody's got to get app close up and running. If we don't have app close, then we have to do some other things. But make sure app close is up and running. And Ms. Bongat, is he a joint or is he a possessory?
Possessory, Your Honor.
Oh.
That's what I thought.
Right.
Okay. So, and I know the AG has a different possessory level than the family code, but I always use the family code when I've got to make rulings on it. So,
Yes.
Ms. Garcia, go over the family code provisions, and if they look confirm with the state and both parish that you're going to go with these aspects going forward. Okay.
Yes, Judge.
All right. All right. So again, folks, we just said a lot of lawyer stuff. So at this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Bongat, is there anything else she needs on this one? And then I'm going to come back to both of you individually. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am double checking whether any of the prior orders addressed court costs, because that may be the
I'm going to
last
waive court costs. This gentleman has done everything he's supposed to do, obviously, and he's had to spend some money out of pocket that is not the norm. So I'll waive court costs on this one.
Yes, Your Honor. Then nothing else for the state.
All right, I'm gonna start with you, Ms. Jones. Again, I just talked like a lawyer for a long time, and I know, and I can tell by everybody, look on everybody's face and said, "What the? This guy's talking like somebody who's been doing family law since 1983." Yes, he does. So yeah. So, ma'am, questions?
No, I'm ready for this to be over with.
Well, yeah, coming to court's always fun, and if you're, especially when you're not getting paid $400 or $500 an hour to do it. Okay, so yeah. So, Mr. Taylor, question, sir.
Is it possible that I can get like maybe an email with all of the information? So, because you was kind of talking a little fast. So
Okay, so the actual order will have everything I just said in it. Okay, and the state's going to send everybody a copy of that to sign off on by DocuSign. And you got a day or so to look over it. It's going to be a long order, so give you a day or so to look over it and read over it. And if you have any questions specifically about anything in the order, you can contact the Litem, and she will explain the legal ramifications of such. But again, yes, sir, I talk real fast because I've been doing this for so darn long, and I apologize for that. But right now, obviously, like I said, that information will be in the final order. Please read over it, and then once you've confirmed that this is what I said and everybody's in agreement, you can sign off on it. Any other questions, sir?
No, sir.
All right, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and let the state prepare that order, get it to you guys. Let's see how this. Hopefully, this all works out going forward. Because obviously, like your mom said, she's a happy little girl. Let's keep her a happy little girl, and let's let both of you parents do what parents have to do. Which includes sometimes folks saying no, even though you don't like them when they bat those big brown eyes at you. Believe me, I've had that happen and go. And just had to bite my tongue and go, no. But yeah, it happened. So anyway, folks, good luck to both of you. Is there anything else from either attorney?
So as soon as I get that from Ms. Garcia, Your Honor, I'll send it out. But my question was, as far as her remaining on the case, is it the standard 30 days after your signature she's released?
Yes. Folks, this case becomes final 30 days, actually 31 days after I sign. You don't count the first day. So if there's something that we find out later on in the next 30 days that needs to be tweaked or taken care of, we have the right to come back in and do that. But after 30 days, this becomes a final order, and it has to be modified after that, which means coming back to court, doing everything all over again. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and leave Ms. Garcia on that. So if something pops up that we missed that needs to be taken care of, we can always come back in and do a quick 30-minute hearing and tweak it after the before that 30 days is up. Anything else, Mr. Bongat?
No, Your Honor.
All right, everybody. Good luck, everybody. Have a happy Easter, and I hope your daughter's like my best friend's daughter who figured out that she wanted Santa to bring her Easter present because the Easter bunny is cheap, okay? But Santa brings the good stuff. So yeah, so I love that little girl. She knows what's what. So anyway, folks, y'all take care and good luck, and I'll let the state prepare that order and get it out to everybody. Have a happy Easter, everybody, and everybody's free to go, correct?
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank
Yes.
you.
All right,
And
thank you.
thank you, guys. Y'all free to go.